This is episode 11 of the Silvertrac Extra.
Thanks for tuning in to the Silvertrac Extra, your source for the best tips, tricks, and how-tos to dominate the security industry. Helping you improve your business, win more contracts, and crush your competition. Here are your hosts, Chris Anderson and Johnny Page.
What's up, everybody? My name is Johnny Page. I am the co-host here along with Chris Anderson for the Silvertrac Extra podcast. We're here on episode number 11, and today we're going to be joined by a really cool guest. His name is Travis Taylor. He's been a long-time operator of a mobile patrol operation for one of our customers at Silvertrac, and I was in a conversation with Travis. He was doing some amazing things with our software and the operation, so I wanted him to join us on the show. He was kind enough to accept our invitation, so today we've got a really cool episode in store where we're just going to ask Travis how he is using the software to win more contracts, retain more customers, and just really build a quality operation. So you're not going to want to miss the episode today. Without any further ado, let's hop right in, hear from our show sponsors, and then we'll go straight in to the featured conversation.
Does your security business need to create business proposals to win clients? Are you frustrated by how much time and resources it takes to create and manage your proposals? If yes, I want to introduce you to paperless proposal software. With paperless proposal software, you can easily create impressive business proposals in minutes. And paperless proposal software allows you to quickly and easily track and manage all of your proposals. Get a free demo at www.paperlessproposal.com/Silvertrac.
All right, well, I am here with Travis Taylor, and we are here in our feature conversation with the Silvertrac Extra. Travis, welcome to the Silvertrac Extra.
Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to have you on the show here. So why don't you just give our audience a little bit of a background as far as who you are and how long you've been in the industry?
Well, I've got 13 years of management experience, in which I've had to run multiple locations in the security industry, commercial, retail, and private.
We actually were talking to you last week about how you guys are using the system, and it really piqued our interest, and I thought you guys were a classic use case of a really solid use of the system, so I wanted to share that with our listeners. So how do you set up a patrol when you're using Silvertrac?
It's pretty simple. The system pretty much runs itself. All we really need to do is to be able to monitor and critique people as they're using the system. Our mobile patrol, meaning kind of like a courtesy patrol, people know it as, where our patrol drivers drive around to each property and view it or lock it up or do whatever the client is required of. The nicest thing about this system is it allows you the opportunity to open an issue and leave it open so that you can continue your patrol through an entire property. And at the end, you submit it. Once that has been done, it's kind of like a story. And it's very nice. The officer tells you what he's about to do. And then he takes photos or makes notes as he's actually patrolling a property. At the end, of course, it's just like the book. There's an ending, and what happened in the story? What did we just do? And that has proven to be very, very successful, not only for the client, because they get to see the pictures and the notes and the timestamps, but for the employee as well. It makes them more of a advocate for the property and for the client.
How is this different from what you were doing before? Because you mentioned you've been in the industry for 13 years. There are obviously a couple elements missing in your operation, or you felt like were missing in the industry. So what were you guys doing before you started using something like Silvertrac?
Well, we pretty much had to keep a handwritten DAR, which if anybody in this industry knows what the DAR is, it's the way that we communicate with our client. The officer, I was noticing that we were missing certain details, and I'll give you a real quick scenario. We walk onto a property, we lock the gate, we go up to the pool, we look in the pool, we see two people in there, we kick them out, we lock the pool, and we leave. Well, by the time the officer gets back to his vehicle to make that report, as humans, we miss certain things. Certain things don't come out of your mind and onto the paper. Like, for instance, who were the two people in the pool?
Mm-hmm.
Were they residents? Were they guests? Are they trespassers? Who knows? And a lot of times it comes out in handwritten DAR is not as relevant to the client as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Where mobile track, you don't really forget the information because you're reporting it on the spot.
Yeah.
So the accuracy of the report and the timing of the report were two big elements of why we needed to get the system in play.
And obviously the time that it takes to report is what's allowing you to do that. The officer's not there with a pencil and a piece of paper, right? You're saying the system in place allows them to collect the information at the point of contact rather than going back and later on adding notes. Am I correct?
100% correct.
Cool.
Correct.
Now, how has this changed the relationship with your customers? Because this is a pretty big difference before and after. So how has that changed your relationship?
Well, not only is it's a better communication tool for the client, but it actually has reduced the amount of time that we have to gather the information with the client. So the client actually is empowered to be a part of their security services. They can actually go in and look at the system. They can see the maintenance items. They can see that we've had a problem with the gray Mercury Marquis parked in the handicapped parking spot for a consistent amount of time. The ability that the client has to be a part of their reporting system is remarkable. That gives me the opportunity as an operations person to go in and have the positive conversation with the client. And not always, well, you guys aren't getting me the DARs. Hey, the Dougie timesheet's missing. I don't even know who my officer is. It stops all of that because it's already on their desktop.
That's awesome. So you're saying you're having a lot more positive conversations with your customers rather than when the phone rings, you're wondering, oh no, what went wrong? Right? Like
Exactly.
who didn't do what they were supposed to be doing? That's awesome. And it brings a lot of peace of mind to the industry. And that's a huge motivation of why Chris and I do what we do, because it's cool hearing stories like that we're changing the way that things have been done for a long time. We're changing it for the better. And it's cool. It's not very often that you find something that is that comes into play that benefits you as the operations manager, the customer as the end user, and then the guard as well. All three people really benefiting and increasing just the way that the services are being offered, saving time, saving money, and increasing value. It's kind of a win-win-win across the board.
It sure is. One of the largest things that really came out last year when we had taken in a very substantial amount we took a large growth in patrol last year. The amount of ability that we have to be able to get a patrol property started, the amount of time for training to that property reduced by 50%.
Why is that?
Well, let's go apples for oranges. Before Silvertrac, I would have to take myself and the patrol division leader or property person and go out and show them their property. Hey, this is the part where this is where everything is getting all, they're dropping trash over here. This is where the homeless hang out. Here's the pool. Here's the laundry room. All of those things can be transpired with Silvertracker in such a fast amount of time because of the ability to be able to make notes and tasks. So for instance, now if I opened up a patrol property, I'm going to put in the little note section.
Mm-hmm.
You need to lock laundry room. They are dumping trash illegally on the southeast side of the property. That pops up in the PDA, in the handheld,
mm-hmm.
which is a very nice reminder for the officer. And I don't have to continue to do a follow-up and go out and see if he's looking at these properties because the GPS marking and the notes in there and the tasks designed for the property make it virtually easy and very simple for any person. I could probably send somebody out there that's not even in the security industry with a PDA, and I can almost assure you that they're going to hit the property with at least 90% accuracy. from the get-go.
So this is like real proof that so what I hear you saying is, number one, we're streamlining the time spent on site. Number two, we're streamlining the time to review what's happening on site, both on the customer end and on the operations side. And number three, we're cross-training to a point where it doesn't matter whether it's the A guard or the D guard showing up. We're still making sure that you're delivering quality services to your customer, which, Chris, this is something that we advocate for all the time, that our customers implement something like this, that we can actually be training the officers in the field while they're doing the duty, making sure that everything's getting done on time the way it's supposed to be done, no matter who's there.
Absolutely. In fact, Travis brought up a good point last year when he started to build his patrol accounts. He actually called me, and we talked about parking and how parking could improve some of that information, like going to the pool. He mentioned about being able to check visitors or people that were trespassing. Well, it's very hard sometimes to do that when you go do a pool and spa check, because the resident or tenant or visitor or whoever's there will lie to you, as we all know. And if they've been there a couple times, they're familiar with building addresses. So Travis having the ability now to, when he had cars registered, to look up that unit information, he was able to determine, was that a resident or is it truly a visitor? That, I think that really helped him quite a bit just on gathering that information, in addition to the QR codes. Am I correct, Travis?
You're absolutely correct. And the really cool thing about that is we have a property that consistently changes vehicles. And this property is home to 275 lower income people, meaning they need assistance. So these people's cars change constantly because they can't afford a brand new car. So they'll have a car for 3 months, car break down, they'll throw it away, and they'll go get another one. And it was becoming a very big chore to keep an eye on whose car is what. And it was really nice because we had our dispatcher in the evening time got a call from a resident, hey, I just got done with the used car lot. I have a new car. This car doesn't have a sticker. The sticker went with my old car. The dispatcher was able to input that information in immediately into the system and dispatch it to our patrol driver. Now, our patrol driver isn't going to tow that car. The patrol driver isn't going to allow a tow company to tow that car. That car has been now instantly put into the system until that person can go to the office and get themselves a new sticker. In which before, this would have been a nightmare, because I would have had to call the guard and hope to God that he remembered or had the ability to write down the information that was given.
Yeah, what you're talking about, shifting from like a real enforcement mindset to a customer service mindset as well, because you just have more information. It's more organized. You can shift the way you're operating on the property, which is a lot different when you're standing next to your competitor vying for this contract, and they're saying, hey, we'll lay the hammer down. We have a great relationship with the tow company. They'll tow every car on the property as soon as we need them to. Like, it just sounds a lot different when you're sitting side by side.
Yeah, it is. And nobody wants to get their car towed. And it's a big problem. I've got sites where I'm towing 4, 5, 6 cars a night from commercial lots. And the ability for me in the first thing in the morning, when those calls start coming in, hey, you towed my car illegally. Hey, your guard towed the wrong car. He should have towed this car next to it. All of this information is already pictured, time-stamped, and put on something, so that at 8:30 in the morning, when I get that call from the customer that's upset because they must go pay this amount of money to go get their car removed, I already have the information available at my fingertips to go, I'm sorry, but this was a legitimate tow. You were warned not to park there, and you did. This is now your issue, not security first, not the property management's.
Yeah.
And that, just to have that information readily available to rectify situations makes 100% difference in this business.
Absolutely. Well, we can't tell you enough, Travis. First of all, it is definitely, I know you've enjoyed the software and that it's doing a lot of great things for you, but this is really a blank canvas, and it really has to do a lot with the operators that implement it. So you guys are doing a fantastic job, which is why I wanted to bring you on. So great job. Keep up the good work. It sounds like it's doing a lot of cool things for you guys internally, and we wish you guys the best of luck going forward. So thank you so much for joining us on the Silvertrac Extra. I know that our listeners will be better for it. We just appreciate you sharing what you have going on a day-to-day basis.
Excellent. Well, it's my pleasure. I like to give back every now and then for the gifts for which I've received, which Silvertrac was one of them. So
awesome. Hey, Travis, what would you say, just real fast, what would you say to someone considering using Silvertrac? If they're kind of on the fence, what would you say to a company that's potentially considering using our software?
Well, if they're in the security industry, I'm going to tell them not to, because then that'll give them the edge over, that'll give them one up with me. But everybody else, the system's fantastic. I can't put into words what it means when accountability, customer service, and timely processes in our industry all match at one time.
That's awesome. We appreciate it. It's been a pleasure working with you, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Travis.
You guys do the same.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy your day.
All right, bye now.
All right, bye-bye.
This has been another episode of the Silvertrac Extra. For more insider information, visit silvertracsoftware.com/extra. Listen on the go by subscribing in iTunes. Want to hear your questions answered on the show? Visit silvertracsoftware.com/questions to submit your requests.